with my Orca A. Well, yeah. Let me first begin with a very short calendar. Orca B, final plea calendar. I'm going to call the names to see if
We've lost the judge. If she's speaking, we can't hear her.
sorry, it was something I said apparently, but let's resume. Like I was saying, this is the Orca calendar. If you are a defendant appearing via Zoom or a defendant in the courtroom, please remember that you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything that you choose to share with us today, either on Zoom or in person in the courtroom, your statements can be heard by the prosecutors as well as everyone else, and those statements can be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you haven't got an attorney at the present time, you do have a right to apply for the services of the Public Defender's Office and see if you qualify, because you do have a right to an attorney if you cannot afford one. If, however, you do not qualify for the services of the Public Defender's Office, then you should either retain your own attorney or you can waive the right to counsel and represent yourself. Please remember that if you choose to represent yourself, you are legally responsible for understanding how the law applies to the facts of the case. So any legal decision you make will be based upon your knowledge and your research of the law and how it can impact your situation, any other open cases you may have, any professional licenses you may have, as well as impact your residency if that's an applicable issue. Do I have a Spanish interpreter on Zoom?
Judge, I've emailed the link to Miss Chancey. She has advised me she'll be here this morning. I'll just text her, see where she's at.
Okay, thank you. All right, as I was saying, my Orca B final plea calendar, I just want to know who is ready to go forward with the plea. So if you hear your name called, please unmute and let me know you're present. Justin Lenton, represented by Mr. Ruffer. Justin Lenton.
Your Honor, the private attorney made an entry of appearance yesterday.
And what's the name of the private attorney?
Khalil Eddy. And he called and,
Is Justin Lenton on the Zoom? You would need to unmute and say that you are present.
The state would be requesting a bench warrant if he does
All
not
right,
appear. Your
thank
Honor.
you. Mr. Francisco Mojica is present in the courtroom. I'm waiting on the interpreter, and that's Miss Helen's case. Waikithia Moore. Waikithia Moore, M-O-O-R-E.
State will request a bench warrant if she does not appear.
All right. Waikithia Moore. And Mr. Brian Royal is present in the courtroom.
Yes.
Mr. Royal has indicated that he does not want to apply for the Public Defender's Office and that he has waived his right to counsel. Mr. Royal had explained to you the consequences of waiving your right to counsel and representing yourself. Do you still want to represent yourself?
Yeah, I thought you had to come back to page 295.
Why did you come all the way around to this? Walk all the way around to this. Nobody can hear you from back there. And who's the prosecutor for this case?
It is Ms. Givier, but I will be taking this for hers, a $200 fine or $295 with court costs in Stanter. I believe Mr. Royal was sent the plea paperwork both on January 22nd and again on February 28th.
I can't fill it. I didn't know how to fill it out.
I beg your pardon?
I didn't have no computer thing to fill it.
So you
please.
don't have the plea paperwork with you?
It's in my email, but I don't have it with me.
All right. Have you filled it out?
No, I didn't.
All right. Miss Riley, would you happen to have a copy of that email?
I don't have a copy of the email, and I'm not sure if Ms. Givier also included Ms. Smith on it, but I can try to see if she has the plea paperwork in the system and
All right.
send it again.
Okay,
Your Honor, the
Uh,
interpreter has joined.
okay. Mr. Royal, if you have a seat, we'll give you an email address to forward that email with the attachment to one of our litigation managers, so we can print it up, you can look at it, fill it out, and we can move forward with the plea.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Mojica. Por favor, the microphone. Ms. Chauncey, yes, I'm waiting.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I couldn't turn on the microphone.
That's okay.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good
Señor
morning.
Mojica, por favor, puede pasar.
Okay. Ms. Chauncey, may I place you under oath? Do you solemnly swear and affirm that the testimony you translate will be a true and accurate translation with no changes or embellishments?
I do, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is State versus Francisco Mojica, 20 CR 005226E.
Este es la Fiscalía en contra del señor Francisco Mojica, caso 20 CR 005226E.
Mr. Mojica is charged with DUI, driving under the influence of alcohol, less safe, plus 3 other charges.
El señor Mojica tiene un cargo por manejar incapacitado bajo los efectos del alcohol, además de otros 3 cargos.
Mr. Mojica, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything you say, your statements can be used against you.
Señor Mojica, usted tiene el derecho de guardar silencio acerca de los hechos de su caso, porque todo lo que diga puede y será usado en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and your attorney is Ms. Catrice Helen, who is on the Zoom.
Usted tiene el derecho a ser representado por un abogado y su abogada es la señora Catrice, que está en la plataforma de Zoom.
Ms. Helen, if you can wave your hand at him.
Por favor, si puede saludarlo a el señor Mojica.
Have you spoken to her?
¿Usted ha hablado con ella, señor Mojica?
I speak before, but one month ago.
I think he
He
said
spoke,
it 1 month
I
ago.
spoke before a month ago.
Okay. Ms. Helen, how are we proceeding in this case?
Judge, we'd like to.
Procedemos. I'm sorry, Ms. Helen.
No, I apologize, Madam Interpreter. My announcement for the case, Judge, is a pre-trial.
Mi anuncio es de tratar de llevar este caso ante los servicios previos al juicio.
Madam Interpreter, could you ask Mr. Francis Mojica to switch his phone off?
Por favor, ¿puede apagar su teléfono, señor Mojica?
Okay. And Ms. Riley, you're the prosecutor in this case?
Yes,
Señora
Your Honor.
Riley, usted es la fiscal en el caso.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
Sí,
on this
señora.
final plea calendar, I'm waiting on Mr. Royal to fill out the paperwork, and Ms. Helen and Ms. Riley to pre-try the case. Go ahead, Ms. Chauncey.
Yo he visto que en este lista de causas finales de declaración, la señora Ryland y la señora Helen están tratando de trabajar en este convenio declaratorio.
So Mr. Mojica, if you have a seat, your attorney will get back with us shortly.
Señor Mojica, si puede tomar asiento, su abogada va a hablarnos nuevamente pronto.
Okay.
Your
Gracias.
Honor,
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
on Mr. Royal, I do have an email from Ms. Givier. Which litigation manager should I send that to? Because she sent it to Ms. Smith.
Send it to Ms. Essen Smith.
That she already sent it to her. We're all on the email together.
He has it?
He's filling it out.
Oh, we already got it, so we're
Oh,
good. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
All right. Before I move on to the next calendar, last call for Justin Lenton. Oh,
He was upstairs trying to figure out what he doubted you.
okay, good. Mr. Lenton has You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. Your attorney is Mr. Khalil Eddy, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Eddy, this case has been reset, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth reset to the final plea calendar. I hope we are, what are we doing today?
I'm the new working on the case. If I would have a free trial, I believe we should get to a resolution, but you say, yeah.
Okay, Ms. Riley, one more time. Well, you probably have to get on the Zoom if you want to speak to Ms. Riley, unless you give me your phone number and Ms. Riley can call you.
That'll work. My number is 201.
Yeah, so Ms. Riley can hear it. Ms. Riley, you're gonna get Ms. Attorney Khalil Eddy's phone number, 201.
Okay,
936-8484.
All right, position one is present and they want to pre-try the case as well. All right, last call for Wakithia Moore. Wakithia Moore. Okay, that's a possible bench warrant. Okay, Orca B. Sorry, Orca A. I'm good. So Orca A status calendar. The litigation manager is Ms. Redden. All right, position number one, Ms. Sharia Boniswa. Mr. Bixson, the state has now passed the charge case, so that case is now closed.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Mr. Boniswa, you're free to go if you're on the Zoom. Next is Anthony Caldwell.
Good morning, Judge. That is my case. I've already emailed Ms. Redden proof of incarceration for Mr. Caldwell. He's currently incarcerated in DeKalb County.
Okay, and
We do not have a release date either, Judge. And I do not know, based on that proof of incarceration document, if it's a misdemeanor or felony, but he's been incarcerated since January of this year.
okay, I'm gonna reset it to April 6th. And we'll just keep finding out where
Excuse
what's
me?
the status.
Pardon
Yes,
me.
Ms. Williams?
I had gave my number the last time so that somebody can contact us, so that they can also try to get in contact with him while
Are
he's still.
you a relative of Mr.
I'm a friend of
Caldwell?
the
Or are you a
family.
victim?
I'm a friend of the family. I'm trying to help because usually it's him and his grandmother. So she's not able to do the whole Zoom thing and everything like that.
What's
So
your
I
phone
was trying to
number?
get 678-534-9807. And is there any way that I can get a contact number for Miss Helen?
Ms.
So
Williams, Ms. Williams, I'll give you a call. I have your number that you just called out. I'll give you a call after court regarding Mr. Caldwell, okay?
Okay,
Thank
All
you so
right.
much. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's all.
And Your Honor, I guess, is Ms. Williams excused?
Oh, okay. Oh, it's 1:30 now?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down right here. On the Orca A status? calendar? Oh, okay. Another note I want to make, Miss Helen, is that Caldwell is being reset to the status calendar on April 6th, but though the timing for that calendar is now 1:30 p.m., not 9 a.m.
Understood, Judge. And I just wanted to know if Ms. Williams, is she able to be excused?
Yes, Miss Williams is free to go.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Abdel Rahman Al Olemi, I see Mr. Al Olemi present on Zoom, and Attorney Brandon Rosenblum. Attorney Brandon.
This is Attorney Mike Barber. I'm here for Mr. Rosenblum today.
All right, sir.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, so who's the
it will be
prosecutor?
ASG Riley. I have all of the cases this morning, Your Honor.
All right, what's the status of MH transfer?
The referral has been sent as of February 21st. I have not received any information back regarding his acceptance, so we are still waiting on that.
All right, I'm going to reset it to the April 6th status calendar at 1:30 p.m. If the case is accepted into the MH program, then no one needs to appear. And this case will be removed from the Orca track.
Thank you, Judge.
Mr. Barber,
Yes, ma'am.
please let Mr. Rosenblum know that at least he needs to appear, but his client doesn't need to appear if the case, well, if the case is not accepted into the MH, then everyone has to appear.
But if it is accepted, we still need to be there.
If it's accepted, then only the attorneys need to be here.
Okay.
All right, just to confirm that he's out of the Orca track. All right,
I have one more, so I'll hang out.
okay. 4-6 status pending MH.
May Mr. Eloni be excused?
Yes. Mr. Alolemi, you are free to go. Please reach out to your attorney to, if you have any questions. Gregory Jacques,
It's also mine, Your Honor. We
all
sent
right,
over,
and you're ready to take a plea in this one?
yes, ma'am. We sent over the plea paperwork
Got
already.
it? Okay, just give me a minute and I will, take a plea on this. Mr. Jacques is present, that's good. Lydia Keita, Keita.
Good morning, Judge. Frank Gaither stepping in for Mr. Lawrence Corn.
And she's present right behind you.
Okay, and I'm doing the best I can filling in, so I'm not really sure what the status is. Mr. Corn had a procedure he had to undergo. So I'm gonna need a little help from the state on this one. Like what's the status as far as y'all, are we close to a resolution? Does an offer need to be made or
The
confirmed?
status is that she was required to appear in person. We've had 2 return notices already for return sender mail.
Okay,
So we'll need, first of all, Ms. Keita to go up to the first floor and give us her current address, phone number, and email with the clerk's office. Where are you off to? Okay. And then if you want to speak to her, or I can reset it to status when Mr. Korn's available.
yeah, let's do that. Let's reset it to the status. Your Honor, does Ms. Keita need to return back to the courtroom to get a notice? Okay.
Don't she understands? Ms. Keita? What is that? Her current address? No, okay. Your attorney is Lawrence Korn, right? Larry Korn? He's unavailable today. So, but I need you to go up to the clerk's office with your case number. You have it? I need you to fill out a document giving us your current address, phone number, and email, so that when we send out mail to you, we don't keep getting it back as undeliverable.
Right.
All right? Okay. And then your next court date is April 6th at 1:30 p.m., same place. You must appear in person with your attorney. All right? And all right, that's all I can tell you right now. The clerk's office.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Victor Marshall?
Hello, Judge. It's gonna be the same announcement. I'm filling in for Mr. Corn. I'm trying to review the notes, but it's just a little bit hard reading his handwriting. So,
Where you were.
right.
All right, Mr. Marshall, please remain seated and we will get to you shortly.
Ms. Riley, can you help me out with the status of this case is?
Yes, the plea paperwork was sent to Mr. Korn on January 26th. So
Oh,
we're just
okay.
waiting on a response, but the state's recommendation is 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance suspended. So the case will close today.
Okay, let me speak with him, Your Honor. And Ms. Riley, I do see the plea paperwork here in the file too. So
Okay.
you don't need to email it. So Your Honor, so let me speak with Mr.
Okay.
Marshall.
So Mr. Marshall, Mr. Gaither is filling in for Attorney Korn, is going to speak to you about possibly considering a plea. Spencer Pace, I believe, is present in the courtroom.
Yes.
And Mr. Pace, did you want to apply for the public defender's office?
I applied.
Oh, that's right, didn't qualify. Okay.
The plea paperwork was sent on February 27th. Not
Did you
sure.
print it up?
No, I didn't receive a.
Ms. Riley, can you send it to Ms. Redden, please?
I believe via email, it was sent to both of them. I will check Ms. Giviea's emails and see. But yes, I will get that plea paperwork to them.
Did you want to consider the plea or did you?
What's the plea?
Come up here. The other way, the other way, the other way. All right, Ms. Riley, what's
It
the
is-
plea offer?
It is 12 months probation, 8 anger management classes, an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that is recommended, 20 hours of community service, and to have no contact with Orlando Harris.
All right, Mr. Pace, apparently the attorney has sent you the paperwork.
I will have to check again for the email, but didn't receive the email. that I know.
Mr. Pace, I'm just running a little short of patience over here because this has been going on since June or July of 2021.
Yes,
And plea paperwork was sent to you then also, and you still didn't produce them. So right now, we're going to have the plea paperwork. You're going to review it. And you can decide whether you want to consider the plea offer that Ms. Riley has mentioned, or whether you want to have a trial.
I'm willing to consider it.
Okay.
Based off of what she said.
As soon as we print it up, we'll give it to you and you'll need to review it and then fill it out. If that's the route you want to take.
All right.
I did just send that plea paperwork to Ms. Redden.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Dwight Yarborough. Dwight Yarborough.
No, I received a email this morning with the plea paperwork trading that he's en route to the courtroom.
Okay, so we'll wait for him. All right, case number 19 CR 008-602E, State versus Gregory Reed Jacques, represented by Mr. Was it Mr. Rosenblum or Mr. Barber? Mr. Barber or Mr. Rosenblum? Currently, Mr. Barber is filling in for Mr. Rosenblum. And then Mr. Jacques, Greg Jacques, you would need to unmute and, okay, and be seated in one spot. All right. So this is going to be a plea hearing in which Mr. Jacques was accused of 2 counts of battery. And Mr. Jacques, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. You've been advised of the right to counsel. And may I place you under oath for purposes of the plea hearing? Raise your right hand. The other right hand. Thank you. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Riley, what's the plea offer?
It is 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 3 days, the balance on probation. He is to complete 3 moral recognition or anger management classes, to have no contact with the victim. Count 2 will be no process, and that will be submitted at the conclusion of the plea.
All right. Mr. Barber, has your client accepted these terms?
I believe that's correct, Your Honor. I remember there being something else that we were trying to do. And I apologize, I don't have notes in my file.
Okay, so The understanding was 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 4 days, so he's already completed jail time. He will be placed on probation. While he's on probation, he will need to do 3 anger management classes, which is what's left over. And then he's at all times, he's to have no contact with Anthony Sciliolo.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sorry,
think-
I'm butchering that name. And the second count of battery would be null pros.
Correct. Denise, do you remember, was it a special plea we were entering? Because I don't have the notes on that.
You do have another client that has a special circumstance where they were trying to do DUI court.
No, I thought it was this one we were doing like first offenders or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say we were doing first offenders.
Yeah, the state doesn't have an objection to first offender.
That's
Alright.
the note that I'm missing, Your Honor. Sorry.
All right. I don't have the cover sheet for my plea paperwork. There was supposed to be another sheet of paper.
You need that from me, Your Honor?
I don't know who was supposed to have sent it. I'm assuming that Mr. Rosenblum was supposed to have sent. It's at the front page, it would have the title, plea and verdict. It will be signed off by the prosecutor as well as defense counsel and the defendant himself.
Okay, it's also not in here. Let me go grab that off of Brandon's desk. That's the best I can do, Your Honor. Let me go do
Mr.
that.
Jacques, do you have your plea paperwork that you sent back to Mr. Rosenblum?
Yeah, I have it online if I could pull it up right now.
Yeah, and if you have it, you can send it to the email that we're going to put in the chat right now. Ms. Redden, you could put your email in the chat directly to Mr. Jacques. Thank you.
Yeah, I have it right here.
Which one is that? These status? No, I'm going to go to that. I'm just doing. I know. Okay, so Mr. Barbara, we're still waiting on to take a plea for that one.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Rosenblum is forwarding that paperwork to me right now. He said he sent it over previously, but I said y'all don't have it, so he's re-forwarding it to me. And then
Okay, as soon as I get Mr. Jacques' completed paperwork, I will move forward with the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Orca B status calendar. Just now, I just did the Orca B final plea calendar, which I'm still waiting to do a plea on position 4. Position 1 and 2, hopefully Mr. Ruffoff and Miss Helen are pre-trying the cases. All right, so moving on to Orca B status calendar. Mr. Gaither, you have a couple over here. Mina Elizabeth Borch Nordy.
And if she's not on Zoom, Judge, I would ask her
Just
to
one
hold
second.
that to the.
One second.
I'm sorry.
The gentleman who's enjoying his snack food with the Samsung phone, we're going to remove you from Zoom until you finish your food or you throw your food away. The gentleman in the black jacket, you're not allowed to eat while you're in court. Okay, and
I got
so
that email
she's not on Zoom. Borch Nordy is not on Zoom.
Let me attempt to give her a call, Judge.
All right,
Your Honor, the state would ask for a bench warrant if she does not appear by the end of the calendar.
understood. Sydney Hepburn.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning, Mr. Trail.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm right here, Sydney Hepburn.
Is that your client, Sydney Hepburn?
My client is Sydney Hepburn. That's correct, Judge.
All right, well, he's present and he's not eating. That's good.
I'm sorry. I missed the judge. So
Mr. Lewis, if you'd like to come all the way around to the podium with the microphone so that, yeah, watch those swinging doors. Just hold it. Don't let it swing back. Don't let it. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, you can, yeah, either one. Or, yeah.
All right, Mr. The phone microphone's right there to the, thank you, sir. All right, Mr. Hepburn, where are you?
Right here.
Okay, so he's on the screen under Sydney Hepburn. He's been advised of his right to remain silent. His attorney is Craig Lewis. And Mr. Louis, how are you going to move forward with this case?
I would like the court to hold this matter right now, so that I can get onto Zoom and communicate with Mr. Hepburn, and I'm in the pretrial posture with Ms. Waldrop right now. We're
Okay,
texting back and forth, Judge. I'm just physically here instead of on Zoom.
so are you able to pre-try it today or? do you-
Yes, I would like to pre-try it today, Judge.
I don't, we have,
And I'm sorry, it would not be with Ms. Waldrop, it would be with ASG Riley.
Right, okay, then no, Judge, I cannot pre-try it today.
all right.
I'm sitting here taking.
Do you have the plea offer for this case?
I don't believe that I do, Judge.
No, Your Honor, I have not had any communication with Attorney Lewis. But I would be amenable to a pretrial with him. I believe that we can work out a resolution regarding this case, because there is a co-defendant that was involved.
Co-defendant took a plea on January 9th, or
Yes.
19th, excuse me. All right,
And so-
Mr. Lewis, normally I would be open to resetting this case, but the Orca calendar doesn't have dedicated prosecutors to the cases. So I'm going to ask you to stay and speak to Ms. Riley. You may do that over the phone outside if you want. And the other reason is this particular case has got 6 prior reset dates.
Understood.
So either we go to trial or we can consider a plea today.
Makes sense to me, Judge.
Okay. All right. What number should Miss Riley call? Or if you want to write it down, we can put it in the chat to her.
I'm going to actually get on Zoom with her in just a couple seconds and we'll be chatting with her.
Okay, we'll need to put you in a breakout then.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Hire to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sharon Jackson. Sharon Alfonso Jackson.
Good morning, Your Honor. Melanie Elwinger here on that case. Mr. Jackson is present on the call. He has 2 cases actually, and we would request that both be sent over for a jury trial, please.
All right. The positions 3 and 4, the defense has asked for a jury trial. This case, let me see. I don't know if it's been arraigned. Are you filing a waiver of arraignment for both cases?
I can, Your Honor.
All right. So this is going to be a waiver of arraignment for position 3 and 4. Please email the waivers to Miss Monica Redden. Miss Essen Smith. And Miss Essen Smith, do you have her email? You would have gotten the notices from her.
No, Your Honor, I don't. I came in the case late, so the notices went to my client.
All right, she's putting the information to you right now. It's on the chat feature.
I have it.
All right, and we will issue a case management order for position 3 and 4. And the case is further notice for a jury trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, just be sure the waiver arraignments are filed as well and further notice for jury trial. Okay, once you get the email address, you and Mr. Jackson are free to go.
Thank you.
Joshua Jones.
Your Honor, there was in the chat, just to be of assistance, I saw a chat message that came up in the chat from Attorney David Heath. And he states, "Hello, I am here for Joshua Jones.
morning,
My
Your
connection
Honor.
keeps."
Sorry, but I've
Oh,
had a
there you
little
go.
trouble.
There he
with
is.
And yes, I'm here for Joshua Jones. I've filed an entry in the case. I filed a waiver of formal arraignment and request for a jury trial. This case just needs to be set on a jury trial calendar, Your Honor.
Actually, I was going to put it on a motions calendar and then from there it would go to jury. This is the Orca B status calendar. So the next calendar date will be May 18th at 9 a.m. would be the motions. Unless you want to go straight to trial and dispense with the motions you filed.
I did file some preliminary motions and I probably do need to review the discovery. If it becomes apparent that there's no need for motions, I will certainly inform the court.
Okay, well, the jury, I'm sorry, so I'm just gonna set it down for the motions calendar, and that's gonna be May 18th at 9 AM. And that's a Thursday. And like you said, if you do not plan to pursue the motions, then please let the court know so we can take it off the calendar.
Certainly, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
And I think that's all we have. May Mr. Jones be excused?
Yes, he may. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Miss Waldrop is on the Zoom, actually. Miss Waldrop?
This is, none of these cases belong to Ms. Walker, Your Honor.
Oh, I just didn't know whether she wanted to talk to Cray Lewis if he comes on the Zoom.
That's my case.
That's still your case. Okay,
Yes.
will do. Kim Lewison. Kim Lewison.
Judge, sorry to interrupt. Mr. Stover, you need to pull over in a safe location. You cannot be driving while you're on Zoom.
Is he driving? Okay.
Hey, Mr. Stover, go ahead and pull over, Judge. That's my case. Go ahead and pull over and stop driving, okay? Thank you.
Miss Helen, on David Stover, the case has already been arraigned and reset for trial. So I guess you're representing him?
That is correct, Judge.
All right, are y'all asking for a jury trial?
Judge, we're asking to be set on that motions calendar, and then I do believe it's headed towards a jury trial.
All right, reset for motions on May 18th at 9 AM. All right, Mr. Stover, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judge.
Kim Lewison, K-Y-M, Lewison.
Yeah, that's my case. She was in court last time. We were in contact. I was personally in contact with her last week. She knows about the court date. I expect her to be here.
Kim Lewison, are you present? All right, she's not present.
Your Honor, the state would be requesting a bench warrant. As you can see in the comments, the case has been continued for this reason several times.
Yeah,
And,
Mr. Roffoff, if you can reach out to her and have her appear, that would really be very beneficial.
Okay, well, I'll do that now because we were in contact with her last week.
Understood? So hopefully she knows about
Okay.
this court date.
All right.
Raven Rogers. Raven Rogers.
State would request a bench warrant if she does not appear.
Vashawn Wicker. Vashawn Wicker, W-I-C-K-E-R.
Good morning, Judge. That is my case. And let me update the court and everyone with what's going on with Mr. Wicker. We reset his case today for him to this is like a compliance hearing for him. He was supposed to complete a theft awareness class, and he was to pay $500 to the victim. I got a phone call from his mother on February the 28th, where he had an emergency, not just a procedure, but an inpatient surgery at Piedmont. And I do have the proof that he's in Piedmont Hospital, but I do have his certification that he completed the class, and they have the $500. They just needed. Is anyone here for Mr. Wicker with the money order? You're the victim. You're the victim.
Mr.
Somebody-
Gaither, I'm on the phone right now with the defendant's mother.
Okay.
Kind of giving her the Zoom link. So whenever she gets it, I'll let you guys know.
Okay,
Right.
thanks.
We're gonna hold for the mother's report. Maybe see those documents, please.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be helpful if we can make a copy.
And actually, you can have those because I have the electronic versions of them.
All right. Charles John Weiss.
And that is my client as well, Judge. Mr. Wise is present. He was to take 2 anger management courses. However, he's not able to complete it because I have spoken directly with, I forgot his name, but he's over the anger management class here in Fulton County. He wanted to check bases with me. We talked and he said that the earliest that I'll be able to get him to complete the classes is March 18th.
Is that him? Charles Weiss at the back? Okay, so he's present. And he's
The only reason he hasn't been able to take the class is because of the enrollment process through the Fulton County Anger Management course. And I didn't write the guy's name down who I spoke to because I was,
Why is he doing the anger management class?
no, not anger management, whatever. Yeah, it was 2 anger management classes. That was a part of the negotiating, to complete 2 anger management classes, and this case would be null clause.
Is that correct, Ms. Riley?
Yes, that is what I have from Ms. Givia.
All right. We're going to reset this case on March 23rd for a final plea. It's a final plea calendar, but basically, in his particular case, is going to be for compliance. And this is going to be at 9 a.m.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, March 23rd, we have a status calendar at 1:30 p.m. So he can come in at 1:30 p.m.
Okay.
Proof that he's completed whatever is required. What was it? 2 anger management classes?
Two anger management classes.
Okay. So reset status calendar, March 23rd at 1:30 p.m. to complete 2 anger management classes, and then the case will be null crossed. Righty, this was for Mr. Charles, right?
Yes.
All right, did you have any questions, Mr. Wise? All right, when you come back on March 23rd at 1:30 p.m., bring your certificate showing completion of those classes, and then the state will dismiss the case. All right, you're free to go. Thank you. All right, is there anyone on the Orca B status calendar whom I did not call?
And Your Honor, if I could announce on Mr. Jacques, I re-forwarded everything we had. The cover page you were discussing, we don't have it. So
I'm going back through the emails now, as the documents were sent more than once, but I will resend the plea and verdict form that she's.
I'm trying to fill out the plea and verdict form. I just downloaded Google Docs. I'm gonna sign that and have that over to you.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, everyone. Thank you for that update. Ms. Redden just told me that she is communicating with Mr. Jacques to complete the documents, so we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we are still waiting on Mr. Jacques.
Judge, this is Crail. I'm sorry, Crail Lewis.
Yeah.
I have sent my telephone number to ASG Riley. I don't know if she's had an opportunity to see it yet, but nevertheless, I'm trying to get my client's attention because I'm also texting with him and not getting a response.
I'm sorry, you're trying to get your client's attention and what?
And I'm not getting a response from him. So that's the only reason I'm speaking aloud during the middle of your calendar, Judge.
Sydney Hepburn? You need to unmute.
Yes, ma'am.
Your attorney is trying to speak with you.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Glanville, if you can put Sydney Hepburn and Crail Lewis in a breakout, please.
You said Sydney Hepburn and who, Judge?
Sydney Hepburn and Crail Lewis.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, I have a Jean Wicker. Is that Mr. Vachon's mom?
Yes, it is.
All right, we can mute Sydney Hepburn. Miss Wicker, you need to start your video.
I'm here.
I don't see your picture. I don't see your
Yes.
video.
Okay, I'm coming up and I'm downstairs, going up to the floor now. Downstairs. But I'm waiting on the elevator here and I'm going back up to this room.
Oh, are
Sorry.
you in the building, Ms. Wicker?
I am in the building, but when you called me, I was on my way. I was on my way to get something to eat, but I'm going back up now.
Which building are you in?
I'm at Piedmont Hospital in Building 1. He's in
she's going to-
ICU.
Okay.
Yeah, he's in
All right.
ICU.
Miss Wicker, you don't have to, we don't need a video of Mr. Wicker in ICU. We are just here to find out if the victim is present in the courtroom, if you have the payment in order to close out the case.
I do. I have the money order, and I was going to reach the attorney, but I know he had been busy in court. I couldn't get him, so that's what made me call the court.
All right.
But he has the certificate of completion of the course.
Yes, he
Uh-huh,
does.
yes.
And
Yes,
so,
I have that in my phone. I sent it to the attorney.
all right, do you want
But
to
I can-
receive the money order and forward it to Mr.
I
Riley?
can-
To whom does the money order go to?
That's what I was talking to his attorney about.
Just
We have the
one
money.
second, Ms. Wicker, just one, Ms. Riley, is she in? To whom does Rashawn Vickers' money order go to for payment to the victim?
Just a moment.
Hi. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Thank you. That's what I was, thank you. So I need to get to the, see if I'm going the right way.
All right.
The,
All right, while you're looking, is there anyone whose name I did not call?
Miss Riley, does it go to does the money go to the victim in the case?
yes, Shamika Mason.
Ms. Mason, is that you? And she's present in court, so I don't
Oh,
mind being the
okay.
go-between. I'm just trying to make life easy for everybody.
Ms. Wicker, are you able to come down to the
Yes.
courthouse to deliver the money order?
Yes, yes, I can do that. I can leave the hospital, come have the money order with me. We just didn't fill it out because we didn't know what name needed to be on it.
Okay, the time is right now 9:50. If you can be here by 11 a.m., that would be very helpful.
Come to courtroom
Okay.
G33.
G33. Okay,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
be there. Okay,
Okay.
G33. Okay, all right.
Listen carefully, at 160 Prior Street,
116.
160.
Okay, let me, I think I came in the wrong way here. Oh my gosh.
All right, thank you. Are you, Mr. Glanville, we can mute Ms. Wicker, please. All right, Ms. Williams, was it? Shamika, was it Shamika?
Shamika Mason,
Mason,
can you wait for?
you'll have to wait till 11 a.m. for the money order to be delivered. Would that be all right? All right, thank you. Ms. Redden, any updates on Mr. Jacques? All right, Justin Lenton, and do we have the paperwork for Justin Lenton? Do you have it, sir?
Yeah, because you got all the way.
Oh, you haven't received a phone call yet from Miss Riley. Okay. That's a pre-try. Mr. Brian Royal, please come all the way to the podium. Ms. Redden, let me know when you get Mr. Jacques' document. Okay. All right, you done stretching?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that was not very polite,
Oh, sorry about that.
especially when we don't want to see your belly button. All right. This is State of Georgia versus Brian James Royal, accusation number 22 CR 006-547F. Mr. Royal is present in court in which he has been already advised of his right to remain silent, and he has chosen to represent himself. Mr. Royal, you filled out the paperwork in which you explain the consequences of representing yourself. Are you still choosing to represent yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. All right. Mr. Royal, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Ms. Riley, he was charged with loitering and prowling, and he's to pay a $200 fine plus court costs, which is a total of $295. Are you able to pay that today?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything else that the state was requiring?
No, Your Honor.
Right. Mr. Royal, do you agree that the allegations of this case, that the identity of the defendant and the venue, Fulton County, are all true and correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
Take your hands out of your pocket. Thank you. And have you reviewed the documents
Yes, ma'am.
for the plea? Have you understood them?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you freely, willingly, and voluntarily enter a guilty plea to this charge in exchange for the fine?
Yes.
And how do you plead to one count of loitering and prowling?
No call, no call,
Repeat.
no low.
Any objection to a NOLO plea, Ms. Riley?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. The state accepts your NOLO plea, and the fine is $200 plus court costs of $95. Please have a seat. We will give you direction for where to submit your fine. Thank you. All right, this was Redden, Ms. Smith. Okay, we need to get directions. Spencer Pace. Ms. Githia, do you have the waiver of counsel document for Mr. Pace?
No, Your Honor, the state and it's ASG Riley, but the state does not provide the waiver of counsel, as it could be considered a, coercive document that we're giving, asking them to waive their right to counsel for a pro se plea. So we would ask the court provide that document.
After years of getting it from the state, now they realize it may appear to be coercive. Okay, let me see if we can, court can generate one. If you have a form, because I know I've kept one, but. Hmm? Do you have one? Spencer Pace. All right, Mr. Pace, you need to fill out one more document in which you need to read the consequences of choosing to waive your right to counsel. It may seem troublesome and nitpicky, but it's the nitpicky stuff that always gets us in trouble. So.
I see working on the, I don't know if you can hear Judge Wolf from over there, but they're about to work on the sound.
Oh, good luck with that. There's no way that thing is gonna get any quieter. Okay. I'm waiting on Mr. Jocks. I'm waiting on Spencer Pace. I'm waiting on Miss Wicker to show up. So, Miss Riley, you want to make your calls?
Jocks just came through the paperwork.
Oh, Jock's paperwork just came through? Khalil Eddie is in the courtroom waiting on your call, Miss Riley, so as soon as.
Yes, Your Honor, but all the pleas are gonna be mine as well, so whichever you're ready.
Okay, so to continue the plea with Gregory Jocks, I believe that we've already, Mr. Barber, to resume the case in 19 CR 008602E. We're getting the completed documents for Mr. Jocks. So do you have any questions again about the terms of the plea offer?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Jocks, and Mr. Barber, does your client stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We will so stipulate to all of that.
Thank you. Mr. Jocks, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with your counsel?
Yes.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and voluntarily?
Yes.
And Mr. Jocks, if you decide to enter this plea, you would have to give up your right to go back to court and have a trial. You to have the opportunity to have the assistance of counsel so that you could challenge the state's evidence, present any defenses if you choose to do so, confront your accuser, examine witnesses, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you, how do you plead to one count of, I think it was battery? Yeah, one count of battery.
It was guilty.
Okay. The sentence is 13 months, 12 months to serve 3 days, credit for time served 4 days. I think it's supposed to be the other way around. Balance probated. Mr. Jacques, you will report to probation next week, and that would be at the probation office at 132 Mitchell Street. That will be next Thursday. The date will be March 9th, 2023. You have to report there before 3 p.m. Once you're signed up with probation, you would have to complete 3 anger management classes. And then if you've completed all classes, then your probation will be non-reporting, which means that you don't have to report anymore. But at all times while you're on probation, reporting or non-reporting, you have to have no contact with Anthony, last name Sciullo. Understood?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you know where you have to be in court?
Can you give me the address one more time?
132 Mitchell Street.
Mitchell Street. Okay, got it. March 9th before
Georgia.
3 p.m.
March 9th before 3 p.m.
Judge,
Okay.
All right.
We were using first on that.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Redden, here we go. Thank you. All right, Mr. Barber, I think that was your only plea then?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Pace, let's go ahead and complete your plea.
Have the excuse, Judge.
We are going, yes, sir. Have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Pace, as I was saying, let me go ahead and place you under oath. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. So in this particular case, 21 CR 002028E, you are accused of simple battery, allegedly with one Orlando Harris. You've been advised of your right to remain silent. You've read through the document about waiver of right to counsel, and you do understand the consequences of representing yourself.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Mr. Riley, what are the terms for Mr. Pace?
Yes, Your Honor, it's 12 months probation, 8 anger management classes, an alcohol and drug evaluation and any treatment that is recommended, 20 hours of community service, and he is to have no contact with Orlando Harris.
Right. And Mr. Pace, you've heard the terms of the probation. This will require the terms of the sentence. This will require you to be on probation. While on probation, you have to complete 8 anger management classes. You have to submit yourself to an alcohol and drug evaluation and with a healthcare provider. And if any treatment is required, you would have to pay for that. Understood?
I understand.
And then you have to do 20 hours of community service with any nonprofit agency. Once you complete the hours, the agency must give you a letter with this letterhead and the supervisor's signature saying that you've done at least 20 hours. And you must provide all these documentation to your probation officer. And at all times while you're on probation, you have to stay 200 yards away from Orlando Harris and not communicate with him in any way, form, or manner. Are these the terms to which you've agreed?
I do.
And do you agree that the facts of supporting this allegation of simple battery, that the identity of the defendant, that is you, and that the venue of the incident, Fulton County, are all true and correct?
Yes.
And have you consumed any medicine or alcohol recently?
No.
And have you understood the proceedings as they've been going on so far?
Yes.
And are you entering this plea freely, willingly, and knowingly?
Yes.
Is anyone forcing you to take this plea today?
No.
And you do understand, as you've gone through these questions, that if you do this, you will not have a trial before a judge or a jury. You will not have the chance to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, have the assistance of counsel to challenge the state's evidence, and have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes.
How do you plead to one count of simple battery?
No, no.
I accept your plea. Your sentence, as I already indicated, is going to be on probation to do the anger management classes, the alcohol and drug evaluation, the community service, and at all times have no contact with Orlando Harris. You're to report to probation next Thursday March 9th, before 3 p.m. And that would be at the 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you. If,
Ron? I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt you. We're trying to, myself and the Spanish interpreter, trying to contact Mr. Mojico. If he could step out to the hall and answer his phone, please.
Miss Chauncey, Mr. Mojico, they want to call you. Your phone.
Señor Mojico, por favor, ¿puede salir al pasillo, salir de la sala, ir al pasillo? Porque estamos tratando de tener una conferencia por teléfono, por favor. Ya lo vamos a llamar.
But do not leave the building. He needs
Pero
to
no
come.
se vaya de ahí, solamente salga afuera al hall, por favor.
Thank you,
All right.
Judge.
All right, so as soon as Mr. Pace is done, we're waiting on Miss Wicker. Miss Riley, I think that's all the pleas I have at the present time.
Okay. So I will call Mr. Eddie or Attorney Eddie, and then I would need to go into a breakout room with Attorney Lewis.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Eddie, if you want to step outside, Miss Riley's going to call you first.
Heard
Mr. Rockoff, who are you waiting on?
Kim Lewison, I talked with her 10 minutes ago and I gave her, she said she would join us on Zoom. I don't see her here yet, but I'm not sure. I did.
Essence, is Spencer Pace your case or Miss Reddings?
No, Judge, he's mine.
Right.
Thank you. These are paperwork for, he said March 9th. See that last name. The first was yesterday. I was so happy. Anyway, he did yesterday. I think it's really this side over there.
Yarborough, is he still
I'm
right?
about to call him. I sent him an email to ask for his status. He has not responded. I'm about to call him on the court phone. Judge.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be in recess until we get information. Mr. Lewis, you're going to be in a breakout with Miss Riley as soon as she's available. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Mr. Glanville. If I could be placed into the breakout room with Attorney Carell Lewis, please.
Doing it now.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis was in the courtroom just now, so hopefully,
Okay.
Mr. Glanville, please make sure that Mr. Lewis is alerted that he needs to join the breakout.
Your Honor, we are ready on position 2 on the Orca B final plea calendar.
That's fine. I'm just waiting on Miss Riley
Oh.
to, she's still talking. Okay.
Understood, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Lee Ashcroft, are you here for an Orca
Yes,
calendar?
yes, ma'am.
Are you here for Orca
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
calendar?
I'm here to enter a plea.
Yes, Your Honor, this is an add-on. I'm Mr. Ashcroft's attorney, Chris Dennison. And yes, he's here just to enter a plea that was announced to the court at the last calendar call or jury trial call.
What's the case number, please?
It is, just one second here.
Because we have one prosecutor and she's right now in conference with other counsel. So as soon as I get the paperwork.
Thank you for the time, Your Honor. I'm back, but I'm not sure what's happening, so.
That's okay. You've spoken to, well, hold, Mr. Dennison, I'll be with you shortly. What's the outcome of your discussion with Mr. Cray Lewis?
Yes, so there is an allegation of a gun being involved in the case, which is what I was speaking with my supervisor regarding. So we would just need to do a little further investigation into that. We'd be asking for one final continuance, but I believe that it will be resolved short of a plea, meaning the case will be no process, but we have to dot all I's and cross all T's.
I've told you this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this will be an 8th date in this case.
I understand, Your Honor. However, this case was previously with Ms. Marshall Story, so
Let me help, Judge. I'm gonna fall on, I'm sorry to talk across you, Madam Solicitor.
No problem. Go ahead.
Judge, let me fall on the sword for the previous ones. This is the first one I believe the state is actually requesting. And I concur, and I understand where her department is, and their processes. And it only benefits my client if she does and keeps me from having to do a trial.
So I'm so sorry. So are we doing a reset then, Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
We're going to reset this case to, what was that now? This is going to be going to a final plea calendar on March 23rd. At 9 a.m.
Is it 9 a.m. or 1:30, Your Honor?
1:30 is the status conference.
Thank you.
This is going to a final plea calendar at 9 a.m. And Mr. Sidney Hepburn has to appear in court in person.
Judge, my client has relocated to Miami, Florida.
So he has till, from now till then, to make plans.
Yeah,
You're,
may I ask?
I'm sorry, if I could interject, Your Honor, I don't believe his presence will be necessary. I believe the matter will be concluded prior to the next court date. We just need
Okay.
a little more time to investigate.
All right, based on the prosecution's representation that the matter is going to be resolved on March 23rd at 9 a.m., I'm not going to require Mr. Hepburn to appear in court.
Thank you, Judge.
Now, if there is a plea, I'm going to expect the paperwork to be exchanged and completed and sent to the court before March 23rd.
Absolutely.
Understood.
Otherwise, I'm going to have him drive all night to get here to court on time.
Yes, Judge.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Lewis, thank you very much. You are free to leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Okay, Miss Helen, you are ready with a plea in which case?
Judge, we're ready on position 2 on the Orca B final plea.
And that is Mr. Mojica?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right. If Mr. Mojica can please stand up and come and sit on the bench right there.
Por favor,
And
señor
I don't
Mojica,
have-
si puede pasar y sentarse ahí en el banco.
I don't have the plea paperwork for Mr. Mojica.
And Judge, I've spoken to Mr. Mojica, and I'm just going to slow down for the interpreter, but that is going to be headed towards a jury trial.
Yo he hablado con el señor Mojica y voy a darle tiempo al intérprete para anunciar que este caso va a juicio.
However, due to it being a DUI, Judge, we're asking for that motions calendar. I do believe we'll have some motions presented on that calendar date too.
Pero debido a que es un cargo por el manejo de estar incapacitado bajo los efectos del alcohol, yo pido que se ponga este caso en una lista de causas para presentar solicitudes.
Mr. Mojica, your attorney has advised me that they are seeking a trial in your case.
Señor Mojica, su abogada me ha anunciado de que usted está tratando de llevar su caso a juicio.
Is that correct?
¿Es correcto?
Sí, así es.
Yes, that's right.
So this case is going to be for a jury trial?
¿Va a ser para un juicio con jurado?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Correcto,
Right.
su señoría.
So presently, we're going to reset it on the motions calendar for May 18th.
En este momento vamos a poner el caso para una audiencia de solicitudes con fecha del 18 de mayo.
At 9 a.m.
A las 9 de la mañana.
Está bien.
That's fine, thank you.
And depending on the outcome of the motions calendar, then Ms. Helen, you can let me know if you still want to pursue the jury trial.
Depende de cuál sea el resultado de la audiencia para presentar solicitudes. Señorita Helen, usted me hará saber si en esa fecha si quiere continuar llevando este caso a juicio.
I understand, Judge. I just want to verify that the time is 9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Quiero verificar la hora, ¿es a las 9 de la mañana? Sí, a las 9 de la mañana.
Ok, está bien.
Understood, Judge.
That's fine.
He's free
Entendido.
to leave.
Usted puede retirarse.
Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Riley, what's the outcome in your discussion regarding Justin Lenton?
May the interpreter be dismissed?
Oh, yes, Ms. Chauncey, I'm so sorry. Yes, thank you very
Have a
much
good
for being
day.
here.
You're
You
welcome.
too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Interpreter.
I believe Attorney Edie is speaking with his client regarding the state's offer. I'm not sure if he hasn't come back in the courtroom yet.
Okay, so the only thing left on the Orca B final plea calendar is Justin Lenton. Ms. Helen, did you have another plea or another announcement?
I do not, Judge. I'm just going to get all of the announcements for the calendar, though.
Okay, and what is the case in which Mr. Dennison is, who are you representing, Mr. Dennison?
Lee Ashcroft, Your Honor.
Dixon's add-on calendar, judicial case manager, Ms. Carita Cook scheduled this case. I am attempting to email her now. It's not our app. He's not on our app.
Okay. Judge Dixon's, and when is that add-on calendar?
It's today.
Today, 10:30.
I will call Ms. Cook now.
Mr. Dennison, you are
Yes, ma'am.
scheduled for a plea before Judge Myra Dixon, not the Orca calendar. And it's at 10:30 in the morning. We are trying to reach Miss Cardita Cook, who is the judicial case manager, to let her know that you and your client have appeared, but at the wrong Zoom link. And we will update you as soon as we get information from her staff.
Yeah, sure. This is the only Zoom link I have. So, and I just called in. So if the court has another Zoom link, I'd be glad to pop over to it.
Yep, just wait till we get the information, then we can give it to you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so Mr. Ashker, please hold. All right, Mr. Ruffoff, do you? Oh, Mr. Marshall, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Mr. Ruffoff, do you have anything else to address?
Yes, Your Honor. Kim Lewison's mother is on the Zoom, and she has Kim there. Her mother's name is Deborah Swan, and she is on Zoom. I just saw her.
Okay, all right, I'll be with, and that was for position 6 on B.
Status. Yeah. Number 6. is there.
Kim Lewison? Kim Lewison?
Her mother, Deborah Johnson Swan, that's the home. She's there with her mother. Ms.
right.
Swanson, can you answer?
Oh, I'm
She's on mute. She's on mute. She's talking.
Yes, ma'am.
no, I was telling her public defender, Mr. Ratoff, that Kim is just not in a good mental place to, represent herself and to really take this serious enough. And
But is she there with you?
Can she please come on the screen?
Kim, could you please come on the screen?
I'm listening. The screen must
Now she
All
was
right, Miss Swan, I've already said please, and she said no. Now I'm ordering her to come on the screen.
The screen is messed up.
1.
Law. I have a right to not come onto the screen when I just said it.
All right, in that case, we are issuing a bench warrant for Miss Lewison, and the bond is going to be set at $1,000. It's going to be a surety bond. And this is going to be for failure to appear and failure to comply with the court's order.
you gotta do is show up.
What's your name?
Ms. Swan, please advise your daughter that she has a bench warrant for her arrest, and we will see her at the jail court. Are you ready to address the court, Ms. Lemstrom? No? All right. Mr. Ruffoff, your client apparently has issues addressing the court. The bond is set at $1,000. And this is not only for failure to obey the court, this is the contempt act of contumacious conduct, but also failure to address the court with proper respect. And she is going to be arrested and brought to the Fulton County Jail, where we will address her at an SAP calendar as soon as she's booked in. Thank you. All right, Mr. Marshall, this is, and who's your
Justin.
Okay. This is position 6 on the Orca A status calendar. State versus Victor Marshall, accused of willful obstruction of an officer, 19 CR 009705E. Mr. Marshall, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Frank Gaither. This is going to be a plea hearing, so may I place you under oath?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Ms. Riley, what is the plea terms for Victor Marshall?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 12 months to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance suspended, case closes today.
All right. And Mr. Gaither, does your client agree to these terms?
Yes, Judge.
And you stipulate the factual basis, venue, and ID?
We do, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Marshall, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, I have.
Are you satisfied with your attorney?
Yes, I am.
And has it been explained to you, and it's also been explained in the documents, that if you enter this plea of nolo contendere, that you would have to give up your constitutional right to go back to court, to have a trial in front of a judge or a jury, to confront your accuser, to examine the state's, challenge the state's evidence, present any defenses if you choose to do so, and also have the state try to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead to one count of willful obstruction of an officer?
No contender.
Your sentence is to serve 2 days, credit for time served 2 days, balance suspended.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is this for you? Thank you. This is for Royal. Okay, Royal was Smith, right? And let's see now. Anyone else who's ready for a plea? Oh, Ms. Dennis, Mr. Dennis, Ms. Redden, do you have an update?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. We're still waiting, Mr. Dennison.
Thank you, Judge.
While we're waiting, Your Honor, I like to, not an announcement, but I like to make a request, now that I think about it, on number, oh goodness.
Only 3 calendars today,
Yeah,
so
it's only 3.
not overwhelmed yet.
Position number 1, Orca B status conference calendar.
Forge Nordy,
Yes. Instead of issuing a bench warrant at this time, I will ask that would the court be willing to put this on a show cause calendar?
no.
Let me tell you why I'm asking, because I think there are some mental health issues in this case. And my memory now from the last time she did appear, she was on Zoom, and I think she was in some type of facility or program at that time. This may explain why. What I would like to do is at least get our investigator to try to hunt her down and see exactly where is she.
I need to look at the history of this case.
Sure.
I'm just looking at it right now. I looked at it last night. I didn't see anything to that effect. I didn't see any MH evaluations. I didn't see anything indicating what you just referred to.
Sure.
So unless I have something to that effect,
If you, as a matter of fact, Jan, if you take a look at the actual police report, the police report states that there's a result of a psych eval that's stated in the police report. And that was one of the things I was trying to get was the whole of her medical records. But of course, I need her to sign off on it. And matter of fact, mental health is one of the state's items in their offer that she undergoes a mental health evaluation and treatment.
okay. Miss Riley, what's your position on Mina Forginordi?
Your Honor, the state would still be requesting a bench warrant as looking for the last calendar on the 18th. That I was waiting on information at that time from Mr. Gaither regarding her mental health. So she was aware at that time that she was supposed to provide that information to him or at least sign off on it. And previously, there was another calendar where she did not appear. So, and I'll have to go back through the procedural history. I don't know if that was in November. She did appear in January, but the state would still be asking for the bench warrant.
And I understand the state's position clearly. I'm just reminding everyone that in these mental health cases or cases where mental health is the issue, defendants can't quite be treated the same as someone who doesn't have mental health issues. There's the court, as everyone saw in plain sight, the last person, I forgot her name, is Kennison, and the way she reacted. So what I'm suggesting is that I'm not sure where she is. And I would at least like to have an opportunity to have my investigator at least try to locate her to see, is she at home and is she just thumbing her nose up at
We have
everything?
a phone number for her on the witness list. Have you all tried her phone number?
I wasn't able to contact her when I went out in the hallway as I was trying to.
You're
talk to
more
her.
than welcome to go contact her. It's in the witness list. The phone number is right there. It's a 678 number.
I have a 404 number, so that's a different number that I had. That you have. You have a 678 number?
Yes. So those are done.
Yes.
Yeah,
Also-
I'm gonna hand you this number and then you'll have to, I need the slip of paper back.
Sure.
Thank you. All right. I'm looking also at this. I don't think this rises to the level of a cognizable MH issue as we have in other cases, Mr. Gaither, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to reach out to her that she needs to appear
Sure.
via Zoom or in person.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm ready to step out now and try again.
I'm not going to set a precedence of,
Oh, I
I'll
understand.
show up if I feel like it.
I understand. I completely understand.
All right. I'm still waiting on Mr. Khalil. I'm so sorry. I did see you walk in about 45 minutes ago, so.
Yeah, so, for Ms. Lee, for Ms. Linton, we have came to a agreement on this case. Where we requested paperwork, we agreed to a simple battery. A no contender plea, and then it was I believe it was 5 classes. More complete, and then upon completion, suspension of the conviction.
Are you doing the plea today?
Yes, we will.
Okay, and
I will work on the plea paperwork and send it to Ms. Redden, or excuse me,
Alright.
Ms. Smith, or whoever's in the courtroom.
Miss Smith, there's lots of people in the courtroom. It's
Okay.
Miss Smith. Okay. All right. So Mr. Khalil, Mr. Eddie, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to wait for the paperwork to be sent to our litigation manager as soon as it's drafted, or well, filled out by Ms. Riley. We'll print it out for you and your client to go over, and once it's completed, I can proceed with the plea hearing, just like I'm doing it. Okay?
No problem. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. All right, on the Orca B final plea calendar, position 1 is going to take a plea subject to document completion. Position 2, Mojica, is further notice to the motions calendar on May 18th at 9 a.m. Position 3, Waikifia Moore. Waikifia Moore has failed to appear. A bench warrant will issue. There'll be $1,000 surety bond. Position 4, Royal was a plea. Right, that concludes the Orca B final plea calendar. The Orca B status calendar. Excuse me, Orca A status calendar, Orca A. On the position 1 was null pros Boniswa. Position 2, Caldwell, is reset to April 6 at 1:30 p.m. Mr. Caldwell is still incarcerated, and this will be for a status on his current detained status. Position 3 is reset to April 6th status calendar at 1:30 p.m. to see if Mr. L. Olemi has been accepted into the MH court. Position 4, Jacques, was a plea. Position 5, Lydia Kita did appear, and her case is, she's got, due to attorney's unavailability, the case is further noticed to April 6th at 1:30 p.m. That was position 5. Position 6 was a plea. Position 7 was a plea. Position 8 Yarborough we're still holding for him to appear. Last time we heard he was at a QT gas station. So hopefully he'll appear before court concludes. So on the Orca A status calendar, the only case that remains is Mr. Yarborough with regards to the plea. Now the Orca B status calendar, position number 1, Bojnordi, a bench warrant ruling is pending.
I just found her.
You have to come.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I just located her, so she's gonna be logging in a few moments.
All right. Position 2, Sydney Hepburn, that case is reset for a final plea on March 23rd at 9 a.m. Position 3,
She's
Sharon.
logged in. I'm sorry to
All right.
interrupt. Position 1 is just logged in.
No, that's quite all right, Mr. Lamil. I appreciate that. Thank you. Ms. Borginordi,
Yes.
all right, you need your video on.
Okay.
Ms. Borginordi, why weren't you in court at 9 a.m. or appearing by Zoom?
I didn't have the right login link.
Looks like you were just waking up. Your attorney has been trying to reach you. All
No,
right.
I've been up.
So, Mr. Attorney, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say about the facts of your case, your statements can and will be used against you. Your attorney is Mr. Frank Gaither. You were charged with battery, domestic violence, 2 counts on August 30th, 2020. This is going to be the 7th reset for your case. Any future appearances shall all be in person. You are no longer authorized to use Zoom to appear for this case. Do you understand?
Well, can we just get it all set today? Because it's ridiculous how this is the 7th time.
Miss Nardi,
Anyway.
Miss Nardi, I'll speak for her, Judge. I've spoken to her. I'm going to email her a authorization to obtain her medical records. She's gonna sign it, get it back to me as ASAP. That's the missing link that I need as her attorney and that the state is waiting on so they can reevaluate the case and either maintain the same offer or make a new one, and hopefully we can have it resolved by the next calendar.
And you think she's going to show up? She seems pretty reluctant right now.
I don't need your attitude.
No, Miss
been to
Majority,
every other court
can
date.
someone please mute her, please?
been-
As a lawyer, please mute her, mute the screen. I'll go back to my first argument I made before.
She's not getting a reset. No, she's not getting a reset. I don't have to put up with that.
Oh, I understand. I understand. Can instead of resetting it, can we just move it to the final plea calendar?
Is she taking a plea?
Well, the thing, she's probably not in this mindset, Judge. And the thing is that with the mental health, outside of the attitude, Judge, the mental health is still an issue in the case itself.
Okay, she needs to
No, this
remain
is
on
from
the,
3 years ago.
she needs to remain on the Zoom.
This is a charge from 3 years ago that I had stuff signed and sent to the previous attorney. It's not my fault that y'all keep resetting it. And then you want to come at me when I've been to every other court date.
Please stop talking. I'm your lawyer. Please let me handle this for you, okay?
This is ridiculous.
All right. I need to see what plea paperwork has been sent to her in the past. Ms. Riley, had there been any plea paperwork sent to Ms. Marchinordi before?
Your Honor, I will go back. I do recall discussing the case with former PD Christy Wilson before Mr. Gaither inherited it. And so she may be referring to the offer that was relayed, because it was also Ms. Wilson's position that she wanted to get more information to the state. So I have not been aware until just now that she was ever entertaining entering a plea. It has always been, we would like to get you more information regarding this case.
Okay.
My mom sent over the information months ago. I have a right to stand up for myself. I get that you're the judge and that's how this goes.
Did you want me to keep her muted?
Your Honor,
I think her attorney does.
Yeah, I want to keep her muted. Since we're here, if the last page of the police report, Your Honor, if you'd like me to bring it to you, I can show it to you, if you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been going on for months. 3 years ago, somewhere I don't
I'm going to
even
give you
live
pages 3 and 4. Take a look at page 4 where it already have tabbed, and you'll understand my position. And probably my position is probably the same position that Miss Christy Wilson took when she saw the police report as well. But, page 4, the last sentence, or what's highlighted in pink and yellow.
I've already read this.
And what I'm saying is that the officer on the scene made the same notations that we are experiencing today. That's why the mental health is an issue in this case.
That may be your evaluation, Mr. Gaither, but I don't think so. All right.
I've been in mental health treatment for years and I just got out. Yes, I'm gonna have an attitude when I have a judge talking. Just because you're me and you're right about everything.
I know. All right. Ms. Marginardi, we're going to unmute you and you need to remain silent while your attorney speaks for you. If you interrupt at all, I will move forward with the bench warrant. Because you already failed to appear in court on time. So one more interruption, and I'm going to grant the bench warrant. You may unmute Ms. Mina Borchnordi. All right, Mr. Gaither, this is your client, Mina Borchnordi, and she has appeared to court 2 hours late, almost 2 hours late. What would you like me to do for your client's case today?
I would like to have this case placed on the final plea calendar. And the main reason for it is since the state is requesting a mental health evaluation and treatment as necessary as a part of their offer, it only makes sense that we try to obtain her medical records to see exactly what the status of that is before, so I can even advise her as to what's going on.
And my understanding is that you've been unable to not only reach her, but unable to get her authorization to get the medical records.
That's
So
correct,
it seems
Judge.
like you're in a catch-22 position.
That's correct, Judge. But now now that everything is out in the open, this is just one of those situations where now, my client has the burden to step up and help me help her.
All right. Ms. Riley, any objection to a final reset to a final plea calendar on March 23rd at 9 a.m.?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Borchnordi, and you can unmute Mr. Glanville. She knows the consequences.
Your Honor, I don't know if he can unmute her.
Yeah,
Mute
I
her.
can't unmute. She has to unmute herself. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I guess she can leave it to that. Ms. Borchnordi, your case is reset for a final plea calendar on March 23rd at 9 a.m. in courtroom G33, which is located at 160 Prior Street in downtown Atlanta. You are required to be in court in person at 9 a.m. And prior to the court appearance, you're required to make contact with Mr. Frank Gaither as soon as possible after this court proceeding, so that both you and he can get the necessary paperwork completed in order for him to move forward with your case.
So I don't have a car. How am I supposed to get there?
We will see you in court on March 23rd in person at 9 a.m. Please contact your attorney as soon as this proceeding.
Okay, thanks.
We'll
May I
talk.
please-
We'll
may I
talk. We'll
please
talk.
be-
We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk about all of that, okay?
Okay, because you haven't called me once. I don't know why this is all being, you called me once this morning. They're saying you've been struggling to reach me. You called me once,
We'll
but
talk.
may I be excused?
Yes, you may. See you on March 23rd. Thank you. All right. Position 2, Sydney Hepburn was reset to March 23rd, 9 a.m. for final plea. Position 3, Sharon Jackson is, and that's for 3 and 4. Case management orders have been issued and is further notice for a jury trial. Position 5, Joshua Jones is further notice for a jury trial, but is scheduled for a motions calendar on May 18th at 9 a.m. Position 6, Kim Lewison is Kim Lewison. Someone said she's present. Is that
No,
the
Your
one I
Honor, that
already
was
issued?
yes, you've issued the bench warrant in contempt.
Yeah, that's the bench warrant and contempt order for $1,000 surety bond. Position 7, Raven Rogers. Raven Rogers. No show?
Yes, Your Honor, the state will request a bench warrant.
All right, that's $1,000 surety bond on a bench warrant. David Stover is reset on the motions calendar, May 18th at 9 a.m. Vashon Vicker is 1 minute shy of 11 a.m.
I'm actually looking for, I think I have her number, Miss Wicker's number. Let me make a call to see where she is.
All right. And Charles Weiss, the case is further notice to March 23rd, status calendar at 1:30 p.m. And it may be a plea instead of, all right.
Ms. Wicker's still on Zoom, by the way.
Yes, Ms. Wicker is still showing on the screen.
I don't know whether our phone is just on.
Is
Jean
that
Wicker?
Jean?
Wicker? Yeah.
Okay. Okay, any word yet from?
Yes, no, we're at part in the parking that is one.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Dennison, you should be getting the Zoom link for Judge Dixon's calendar. And I believe Mr. Ashcroft should also be receiving one.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, I'm just waiting on Mr. Yarborough and Ms. Wicker right now. And Ms. Riley, as soon as you get the paperwork for to Mr. Eddy, we can proceed on Justin Lenton as well.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm working on that now. Thank you.
Mr. Dennison, Mr. Ashcroft, did you get the email, the link? I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Yes, Your Honor, we did. I just got it. I'm gonna leave and join if that's okay with the
Oh,
court.
no, that's fine. Please do. We got worried while you were still here, so.
Yes, ma'am.
All
Thank
right,
you so
take
much.
care. Goodbye.
All right, bye.
Thank you for the time, Your Honor. I did just send that plea paperwork to Ms. Smith.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm getting several errors. But
Okay, we've got this plea paperwork, then we're waiting on Mr. Yarborough, who's position number
yes.
8 on Orca A status. And we're waiting on Miss Wicker because the victim has been sitting in the courtroom waiting for the restitution. So these are the 3 cases left for us, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Chapman is walking down with the plea paperwork right now. By the way, Ms. Smith.
What color you want on the right? Blue, blue. That's blue.
All right, Ms. Riley, we are on the Vashon Wicker case. And Ms. Jean Wicker has appeared in court. This is position 9 at Orca B status calendar. I have in my hand the certificate indicating that he's completed the theft awareness class, and counsel for Vashon Wicker is got the money order for the $500, which he's now going to place in the alleged victim's hands. Okay.
Thank you. I will send the no cross.
All right, and the state will basically close the case out, and it will not pursue prosecution in the matter. Mrs. Wicker, thank you very much for being here, but I'm sorry you were so hurried, but this closes your case out. This is one less thing for you and your son to worry about. I wish him the very best on his recovery.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're free to go. Thank you. Mr. Yarbrough, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if you'd like to come forward, walk all the way around that end, come to. Did you get the no cross?
Right, I was gonna put it in my USB. I already did that.
This is State versus Dwight Owen Yarbrough, 22 CR 0027009G. Mr. Yarbrough was cited with hunting without permission, fishing or hunting without a license. These are the two misdemeanor charges from November 1st, 2020. Mr. Yarbrough, you have a right to remain silent about the facts of your case. Anything you say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. I understand that you've already waived your right to counsel and waived your right to a jury trial.
Yes.
And, but this, we're going to go ahead with this plea hearing where you're required to just pay a $600 fine and the case will be closed out. Is that your understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Yarbrough, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
Thank you. Ms. Riley, this is State versus Yarbrough, and I've already outlined the terms of the recommendation from the state. Is there anything else?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Yarbrough, in addition to the recommended sentence of the fine, do you also agree that the allegations supporting this charge, the identity of the defendant, that is you, and the location of the offense in Fulton County are all true and correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
And thank you. And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Is anyone forcing you to take this plea today?
No, ma'am.
And you've already filled out the paperwork with the understanding that if you accept this plea, that you waive your right to challenge this charge in a court of law or the charges in a court of law.
I understand. Yes, ma'am.
You will not confront your accuser, challenge the state's evidence, present your own defenses, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
How do you plead to
Guilty.
How do you plead to the two misdemeanor charges I've just listed?
Guilty. Sorry.
Your fine is $600 plus court costs. We will give you directions as to where to go to pay the fine, and that will close the case out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Sorry, I was late.
That's all right. As long as you keep us updated, that's the That's the most we expect and we truly appreciate it. Thank you.
And I do appreciate the phone call. Thank you.
Okay. That we will make. Okay. Sorry?
Judge, it looked like on his signature, he signed both.
Yeah, he did. And he needs to sign that one. He needs to sign this one. And he needs to sign that one too.
Thank you, Judge.
And this goes with Lenton's, sorry. Who's got Vashon Wicker? I think that's his.
And then no process coming for.
Right.
Where to go, I just have to enter the fine.
No problem. Yes, ma'am.
All right, anyone else who's not, has resolved all their cases, y'all are free to go. I think I've already gone over the calendar. I just have, position 1 on the Orca B final fee calendar as soon as, Mr. Eddie and then Mr. Lenton. Ms. Smith, Ms. Riley says as long as the copy of the money order is scanned, and honestly, she'll just get a copy from there.
Did you scan it?
I have here.
Yeah, but he signed it, so that just goes with his paperwork.
Oh, no problem.
And,
Sorry.
okay. All right, we are addressing state versus, but can I see the document that you just handed you? Yes, Smith? Okay. This is State versus Justin Lenton, case number 20 CR 004514E. Mr. Lenton was originally accused with simple battery and battery from May 23rd, 2019. Mr. Lenton, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Eddie. And I understand that we're going to have a negotiated plea hearing on the one charge of simple battery. The battery charge has been nullified. So, Mr. Lenton, if you please raise your right hand, do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. With regards to this case, Ms. Riley, what is the state's recommendation?
It is 12 months probation, 5 anger management classes, to have no further violent or harassing conduct, with Ms. Alexia Lockett. And the state does not have an objection to probation terminating upon the completion of the anger management.
All right. Mr. Eddie, does your client agree to these terms? And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue and ID for the simple battery charge?
Yes, we stipulate to the factual basis and
Venue and
no,
ID, okay. Mr. Lenton, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
Not today.
Okay, and whatever you've consumed, are you still able to understand the proceeding so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney? And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea today?
No, ma'am.
You've gone over the paperwork with your attorney, and is it your understanding that you are giving up your right to a trial before a judge or a jury?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would include your rights to confront your accuser, examine witnesses, challenge the state's evidence, present any defenses if you have, and have the state try to prove the charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. These are all rights that you would have to give up. Are you prepared to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you plead? To one count of simple battery?
No law.
I'll accept your no contendere plea. Your sentence is 12 months probation. You will report to probation next Thursday before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. While you're on probation, you will complete 5 anger management classes and have no further violent contact with Alexia Lockett. Once you've completed the anger management classes, your probation will terminate, but you need to submit the certificate of completion to your probation officer. Yes, sir.
And if you need to change the information, then.
Did you have a question for me or your attorney?
Either one, who can answer it.
He just wanted to know if he can start probation today, but I told him he has to do the process and the intake first.
Yeah, it's a process. We got to get the intake information, then it gets assigned to a particular PO, and then once you meet the person, they're ready to hit the ground running with you. So that's why I give it till next Thursday. If he wants to start sooner, Wednesday would be the possible date as well. All right, but before 3 p.m. All right, Ms. Smith, here we go.
Everything good?
All right, Ms. Riley, I believe that concludes all our cases unless I'm missing one, Mr. Gaither.
No, I think that's it, Judge.
All right, folks, thank you very- all right, everyone, take care and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
Thank you, Judge. See you tomorrow. Thank you.